Hi guys, so Tom Swarbrick of LBC got himself an interview with disgraced former Tory MP Neil Parish. Now this is interesting because I would imagine that Parish would prefer for all of this business just to go away. But he agreed to do this interview, and he hints here that perhaps some people wanted to push him either out of the Conservative Party or just out of the House of Commons. What he did was wrong, but compared to some of the things that happen in Westminster, some would say it was pretty mild. Have a listen.
Something interesting that you said about what happened to you at the end, with people looking over your shoulder at your phone. Do you think you were done in by some of your colleagues?
I think probably I was. Now, I was wrong to be watching it. It was very immoral. It wasn't illegal. It was immoral, and I shouldn't have been doing it. I was right in the corner of the House of Commons as you go into the lobby to vote. So this idea I think people have got that I was right in the middle of the House of Commons flaunting it is absolutely wrong.
Okay, that's not a very good excuse. I know he's not trying to make an excuse here, but it seems a bit like an excuse. But first of all, he hasn't apologized. Notice that he hasn't said, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this, I'm sorry to my colleagues, I'm sorry to my constituents, I'm sorry to the public, I'm sorry to those around me. But he hasn't done that. He said it was wrong, and when he was pushed on whether he was done in, this is interesting because Neil Parish, when he was an MP, when he was head of a number of committees, he was not the worst Tory. He was actually not that bad of a guy. Let's park what he was doing in the House of Commons on his phone. But he was good at grilling MPs. He was good at grilling ministers. He was good at grilling representatives of the Home Office, for example. So he did a good job, apart from what he was doing on his phone. And I think he may have created some enemies within the party. He was critical of Boris Johnson and the government from time to time. I don't know if that was enough to force him out. But what he did on his phone was wrong. He should have apologized. But if you compare that to what Jacob Rees-Mogg, for example, did, Boris Johnson sent Jacob Rees-Mogg to speak to the Queen and to lie to the Queen. And Jacob Rees-Mogg has not apologized, and Jacob Rees-Mogg has not resigned. I'm not dismissing what Neil Parish did, but on the scale of things, why the heck has Jacob Rees-Mogg not apologized and resigned? And that's just Jacob Rees-Mogg. There are dozens of MPs who have done similar or worse things that have not apologized and not resigned, including the Prime Minister himself.
I wasn't proud of what I was doing, and it was very wrong I was doing it. But I didn't spend any time in the last 12 years, shall I say, splitting on fellow members. I asked to be able to apologise if I'd caused offence. I was not given that opportunity by the Chief Whip, and I was thrown to the press wolves.
Which is an interesting theory, that he wanted to apologise, but he could apologise now. Yes, I understand he wanted to make a formal apology, a letter to the party that he could deliver to the whips, but the whips wouldn't allow him to do that, he claims. But he could apologise now. He could say, I'm sorry. In this interview, he hasn't said, I'm sorry. He said, I'm wrong, but not I'm sorry. And, he could be reaching out to his constituents here and saying, I'm sorry, or his ex-constituents, but he's not doing that.
Had you done it before?
Sorry?
Had you ever done it before?
No, but I've done it now, and I admitted it, and I did it twice, and I admitted it, and that's why I've gone. And I've paid a high price, but I accept that, and I need to move on.
I need to move on. Is that why he's giving interviews? I think he's trying to maybe point the finger at somebody within the Conservative Party who wanted him out. Could be even Boris Johnson himself. Now, what happened was the seat was lost. He was a popular MP, whether you agree with him or not. He was a popular MP. I think he had a majority of something like 24,000. That was completely wiped out. And the seat was lost to the opposition. He could run again, maybe as an independent, and he could actually win. Now, I don't know if it would be in the of course not in the same constituency. He could go next door, maybe, if there's a by-election coming up, and try and run there as an independent. And on name recognition, he may be able to win, or at least split the Tory vote. And this could be his way of getting revenge on the people who kicked him out. But once again, I think he could go some way by actually apologizing, which he hasn't done here. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.